I'm back with another video. This one about friendships, interpersonal relationships, etc. I'm probably gonna make two or three parts to this because I've had a lot of technical difficulties and I've had a lot of things to say, but I didn't record. But you know what I mean? That's a lesson in consistency. I still got to upload. So cool. I just want to kind of touch on three main things about friendship, and then in the next videos I'll probably give some actual practical tips. So cool. You know what I mean? Friendship is, look at me sounding all poetic, but like yeah, everybody knows about friendship, man. Even kids know about friendship, etc. But like as you go older, you gotta realize there's more to it. It's more intricate. It's multi-layered, and you gotta consider people's temperaments, their personalities, and all these kind of things when you're choosing your friends and who you spend time with. You know what I mean? Who you spend time with is one of the most important things you can do with your time. So on that, the first thing I want to bring up is something my mum always used to tell me when I was growing up, which is you're the average of the five people you spend the most time with. So when growing up, like I used to like, you know what I mean? Or the way she used to say it is how her grandpa used to say it is, show me your five closest friends and I can tell you what kind of person you are. And I always used to think, it's interesting. And recently, actually, I was listening to a podcast just the other day and it said, it talked about a situation, but it called it the chimp paradox. Apparently, if you put chimps around five chimps, you can predict its behaviors based on the five chimps it spends its time around. I was like, wow, so these things our parents have been telling us growing up, they're actually like, you know what I mean, based in science, you know what I mean, ironically. But cool. Everyone kind of knows this, you know what I mean? If you spend time with four doctors, you'll be the fifth. Spend time around four millionaires, you'll be the fifth. Four smokers, you'll be the fifth, etc., etc. Like, so point of this maxim is to basically highlight that the idea that human beings, we kind of like grow into or absorb our environment. So what that means is, you know what I mean, you can be your own person, you can have a very strong will, be very driven, but at the end of the day, your environment is very important. Who you spend time with, what kind of environment you spend time with is very important because you will pick up the habits of that environment. You will like pick up what people are like there, how people are acting. It's natural, it's in our mechanisms. So you have to be very careful who you spend your time with. And that is like, whether you believe this or not, you have to kind of taking the gravity of the situation. And then the little practical advice I give on this is you just want to analyze who your friends are, what they do, where they're going, and see if they're best suited for where you're going as well. Because you can have friends for the now, friends for enjoyment, but you know what I'm saying, don't confuse the friends for the now for friends who you're going to be with for the rest of your life, if that makes sense. And also on that is you have to know who you do what with each friend. You know what I'm saying? Your friends, because you probably have your main social circle, but in some situations, you and your main circle, you're all on the same thing, same strengths, same weaknesses, same likes, same dislikes, all of that jazz. That's very unlikely for most people, I reckon. But you have to, if you're in that kind of situation, for example, let's say you like to drink and party, but everyone else in your circle doesn't like to drink and party, it's kind of a fool's errand to try to convince all four or five people that, yo, guys, let's go drinking and party when you're the only one that likes it. You're better suited to probably find some people that drink and party, and then when you want to drink and party, you go out with those people. But just because you go out with those guys doesn't mean you have to spend all your time with them. That means on the flip side, let's say you're entrepreneurial, but most of your friends are just, they're not entrepreneurial. It doesn't mean you should give up your entrepreneurial mindset or your dreams. Like, it means you should find a circle of people who are just like you. And when you're trying to do something entrepreneurial, when you're trying to spitball like this, you have someone to bounce them off of. Not that you're in like a zone and you think, oh, I'm the only one like this. This goes for loads of things, like religious as well. Like, don't, if you're a religious person, don't let your religion drift from you because your main circle aren't the same religion as you. Have a group of people who are within that circle and are like you. And when you find a group of people or a circle like where you start to realize, oh, I'm more like these people. Move closer to that. That's some advice I got recently. Move closer to that. So that's one thing I want to say. Another thing I want to say on that is it's about peer pressure, because that kind of whole five people you spend time with kind of sounds like, oh, like, all peer pressure. And some people, even me, I was a stubborn kid. I didn't believe I could be a victim of peer pressure. I didn't believe it applied to me. I'm just built different in it. But I realized peer pressure isn't like this big decision or life or death ask or something like, yo, bro, hold this gun for me, or like, yo, do this, like something you've never done before. It's not really like that because most people aren't confrontational. Most people don't want you to do things you're not comfortable with. Most people, anyway. It's more of like the slight change in your attitudes and behaviors over spending time with a different group of people or people with different mindsets to you over an extended period of time. So what I mean by that is, like, let's say for people who are just going to uni now, let's say you never drink or you don't go partying, but everybody around you likes to go out to party, likes to go out to drink. Cool, there's pre-drinks, there's going to the club, there's post-drinks, like there's just drinking. You go out week in, week out, everybody spends time just drink, and you don't drink. It's not to say that everyone's gonna get in the rave one time and say, yo bro, you better drink spot, you can't roll with us anymore. That's never gonna happen. No one's gonna do that. It's more just gonna be like, you're gonna be going out with these people again and again, and you're gonna start to feel left out, a bit excluded, and then maybe like you're in a different kind of mindset. Just something's happening, and like you just, someone asks you or someone offers, or you just take your own initiative and you take that one time drink. That's what it's more likely to be. It's not gonna be someone like, yo, you better do this. It's just over time, spending time with people with different mindsets, you're naturally just gonna, your barriers are gonna lower of what you think is acceptable, unacceptable, what you think is right and wrong. That's what I've gauged peer pressure is. So be careful to that and be aware of that. That it's not like, if someone asks you and you don't drink, you're just gonna say no. But extended period of spending time with people like this, your mindset might change, if you get what I'm trying to say with that. Cool. So those are the two things I want to touch on. The last thing I want to briefly touch on, and I've realized this in life, and I heard this in a podcast the other day as well, which is quite insightful. And it's like, in life, yeah, everyone's got their own path and everyone's got their own journey, and everyone's going to their own places. I'm going here, you're going there. We might link up at the top or whatever, but some people in life, they've got learn their own lessons in life, you know what I'm saying? So you might fall out with someone over something, or you might stop being friends with someone over something. You might think, wow, what did I do? Like, I felt like I was always clean hearted. I felt like I was always this, and they might fall out with you. And it's just because that person has to go around, that person has to go away and learn their own lessons in life, and then, you know what I mean, figure that out by themselves. It's got nothing to do with you. Everyone's got to learn their own lessons in life, whether they've got something they've been dealing with internally, it's family, it's deep rooted, it's probably got nothing to do with you. You're just like a factor that's here right now that is experiencing it. So don't take things personally. Don't think because you fell out with something that you've done something wrong with, it was a relationship, a friendship, or maybe even family. Like, don't take it personally. A lot of people, all of us, we've got deep things that we've got to deal with ourselves, and you know what I'm saying? Maybe you fall out with someone and that person got to go learn their lesson by themselves, innit? It's got nothing to do with you. So don't take it personally. You may fall out with people, and if that's the case, don't hold resentment in your heart. Don't be bitter. Grudges only hurt the person holding the grudge. So just realize that about life. Everyone's on their own path, own journey, and they got to learn things by themselves, innit? So, you know what I'm saying? If you fall out with someone, just keep that in mind, innit? So because the person was actually asking me about cutting people off, on closing, I'll say, you don't, unless someone is like really, really toxic and abusing you, you don't really have to cut anybody off. Just kind of know your boundaries and know when and who you spend your time with, and have a group of people. And even in the internet generation, it could be what you listen to, books, podcasts, etc. It could be just have another community or mindset where you're really in touch with what you really like and really interested in. And the people that maybe you think are not so best suited to you, just choose when and where and what you want to do with them, and be very like calculate with it. You don't need to spend time with people all the time just because you're friends, or do things that you're not comfortable with just because you're friends. You can be there for certain things and not there for other things. But just be aware that some people, they may not be comfortable with this arrangement. So if you're not full-time friends, maybe they don't want to be friends, and that's okay. That's life, innit? Just, it's better to, you know what I mean? Your true friends will always be willing to compromise with you on how they interact with you, and if they're not, then they're probably not the best of friends, innit? So cool. That's all I got for this video. This is a short one, but I got a lot of quotes that I wrote down myself, and I'll just read those out and my interpretations of that, which can be helpful. So check out that on another video, probably down Wednesday. So look out for that, innit? If you enjoyed it, you know what I'm saying, you know the vibes, like, comment, subscribe, all of that. Have a nice one. Cool. Love.